Hey YouTube, Happy New Year. It is now 2023 up in the house. And hopefully in this year, the gals can just be, everyone can just be happy and focus on thyself. Hopefully there won't be any travesties in the world again, but we shall see. We cannot predict the future. Anyways, back to the video, back to me. I decided that I should do a video to bring in 2023. I haven't done any type of like home tour or anything, because I feel like that would be really complicated. You know those people that have like a home that like everything means a little something? And I feel like that video might be like over an hour, to be honest with you. And I don't know if most people have the patience of watching me for over an hour, but I decided maybe I'll do like a little record tour because this weekend, was it a weekend? Well, Friday, I had my niece and nephew come over because I needed to organize my records. They have been kind of all over the place because I've been a collector for many years. And I think as most people know that if you don't start a collection organized, then technically it won't be organized. Sorry if the lighting keeps changing. I am once again filming this around 4 or 5 o'clock and the sun and everything just keeps changing here in Florida. It's been crazy, but back on track. Yeah, I moved into this place. Technically, it will be a full year on the 15th. I've never done an apartment tour, but I absolutely love my apartment. I love the way I've decorated it, and I am very fortunate to have found some of the treasures I have found, and the same goes for my record collection. I've been collecting records, in case some of you out there have not watched my videos, my previous videos detailing how long I've been collecting records, but I've been collecting them since I was a teenager, to be honest. When I was a kid, I was completely infatuated with records. My dad had like Michael Jackson records that he kept in a cabinet. My aunt, I was almost about to say uncle, doesn't matter. My aunt had an amazing Prince record collection, and I'll never forget the Purple Rain vinyl that she had. I was completely obsessed with it as a kid, and that really like spurred on my interest into the whole record arena. I've always just been so infatuated with the whole presentation of music, not just the music that you're hearing, but the artwork and everything involved in it. So my collection has grown quite a lot over the many years that I have been collecting, as I'm sure many other record collectors out there can agree that it's just something that you love. It's like some people collect baseball cards, some people collect clothing. I collect records, candles, and clothing. But records are my main collection for sure. So yeah, I decided like I definitely wanted to get it organized. My niece and nephew is here. Not at the moment, but in Jacksonville, they're here. So they came over and spent the night, and we organized, and it was a hassle. I tell you, my back was killing me because like, I have like over 1,000 records, and of course they didn't know like because another thing too is that the shelving units, when records are like packed into shelves, like you don't realize how many there are there, but when you start pulling them out, it's like, oh my God, it can be so overwhelming. And for some reason, I decided to drink coffee and take vitamin B before they came over, because it was after my work day. I like got off of work at 6 and they came over at like 7, and I was just like so overwhelmed because my adrenaline was like up here, and it was just like a lot. But it's just a lot in general. When you have a collection like that and it's over 1,000 items in different genres, it can become a lot. And I'm sure a lot of you can agree with me. And I would love to hear in the comments from any record collectors out there of how you organize your records. Are they by genre, artist, like what? I decided to go with the route of genre. Now this is funny. I absolutely love electronic music, and to see the rows of electronic music and how many there were, I definitely broke it up into 2 batches, because my music that I love is rock and electronic, and it's all like very interesting sounding in my opinion. So it's like, for instance, I had to put FKA Twigs in the pop category and not the electronic category. Now, if I had a record store, I would probably put her in electronic. But because this is my home, I was like, okay. I even put Laurie Anderson in pop. scandal. Like, that is a scandal. And the reason I put those artists in pop is because they have popular names. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't put Kraftwerk in pop because Kraftwerk is so electronic based and like godfathers of the electronic genre that I was just like, I can't put them in pop. You know what I mean? Even though they have that album called Techno Pop, but that's a whole nother. Anyways, so yeah, I definitely did it by genre, and I think I'm pretty much happy with what I did. I was so like, wow, I have that many electronic records that are like just purely based electronic. And then it's like some artists I had to put in disco funk, who aren't particularly disco funk, but have, it was like this whole feeling. I based it around feeling. I'm just like, if I was doing like a mix of some fun music, would I put this artist in disco funk? And I was just like, yeah, I kind of would. I think I really would. So I put them in disco funk, and like I have so many soundtracks. Anyways, so that was a whole ordeal. I was so exhausted yesterday from it. And yeah, but now it's finally organized and I'm really happy about it. It's still got some ways to go because I still have some like records to put in there and like slide in. But the fact that it's now organized and I can do that feels really good. I would love to have it alphabetical, but that's not gonna happen because even dicing it up, because like my niece and nephew, like, you know, they had to ask me each record because they're like 13 and 15. Like, they don't know much about the music that I would have. Like, they weren't even sure if they should put Mary J. Blige with hip hop or pop. And I was just like, actually, it kind of like confused me too because it was it was a 12-inch Real Love, and I was just like, oh my god, I think I'm gonna just go ahead and put that in hip hop. It became like at the end of the night, I was just like, oh my god, just put it in. So it became like a whole mishmash of like things, but it is properly organized on feeling and vibes, and that's how I feel life is, at least for me. Like even with 2023, like I'm not doing any resolutions. I feel like resolutions should just go out the window because most people's resolutions go out the window anyway. So it was just like, I know what I want to do for 2023. It's in my mind. It does not have to be a resolution. And I've already started working on what I want to do in 2022, laying down the groundwork for it. So let's just let the Lego pieces fall into place. Like, I feel like that's how life should be. But anyways, getting off track with some theoretical moments, let's get back on track and let's check out my record collection section. Like I said, I've never done a house tour. I don't know if I'm going to do one. Maybe it'll fall into place like this video is falling into place with doing a record tour. So, like, this little record section is a big part of my home. So, let's do it. All right, so I'm leaving my bedroom. I'm not gonna do a bathroom tour. Who does those? And this is my common area space. And then over here, we have my records. Let's see if I can, how does, I don't know. Oh my God, cameras. So yeah, this is my record collection here. So you can see that usually what I do is I cover up each slot with like a record, and then behind it will be all of this. I haven't gotten to covering it up on this side yet, but it will eventually happen. There's my little Apex Twin Drux record down there. Emphasis on little because it's so big that it will not fit in any of these like shelves. But yeah, so this side over here, this is my, it's disco, funk, and rock. So I have so many rock records, I kind of didn't realize. And yeah, so that's what's over here. And I'm glad that there's some space for like adding more if I need to, because I definitely will have to, because I definitely have some that are like off to the side. This vintage fan mirror, obsessed. I found this on Facebook Marketplace and it's just like so good. They sell these for like people on Instagram sell these vintage mirrors for like so much money. And I think I found this one for like 60 bucks. Like the guy was really nice, delivered it to my parents' place before I moved. The lamp, pretty much everything up here is vintage except for like the candles and like this. I have a lot of selenite all around my home. It's for protection. I also have little elephants hidden everywhere. That's a little crystal bookend one. And then this one, and they're all facing whichever direction they're supposed to be facing for good luck. I keep forgetting. I think it's north. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I have this little tea candle and this little hand sculpture from Print Error. They do really cool like 3D printed pieces. And that's a really good gift from my good friend, Christina and Riza. It was like my birthday, going away gift. And yeah, I absolutely love my home. I love these vintage findings. That lamp is vintage too. I effing love it. But this whole side is rock and funk and disco, and I feel like it makes sense. This whole section will be covered up with like the records, how they are there, because I absolutely love album art. I feel like it's one of the reasons I love collecting vinyl so much as well. So definitely having that around my home, because you'll see like over in this section, which I'll get to in a second, I have the records covering there. So this is the side that holds my record player. She's not a great one, but she's a great one. She's like, you know, one of those knockoffs of like the Technics. And I'm like, until I get a real Technic, that's what I'm gonna use. She is fully, not fully automatic, she's fully non-automatic, is that the word? Whatever, but she works great. I can change the pretty much everything on it, which I like I can change the head shell. It has the counterweight back there, quartz setting. I love it. I think it works for me. I have a couple candles right there, my little record weight, and then I have these vintage cats on each side as like little protectors. I don't know. I feel like they're really fun. I like found them randomly someplace. I forget. But I think they're really fun. And then I have this record shelf thing from IKEA, which I've totally talked about before. And it's just so efficient. It's like you're in a record store, like flipping through your the records that you want to like play. It makes me very happy. And it completely matches my decor. I have some Bluetooth headphones over there, which I rarely use. And then this is the records. The ones over here are electronic. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to dedicate an entire section to the electronics. Because yeah, and luckily there's some room for more, but not much. But yeah, I was luckily able to put all the electronic over here. It is so weird how these shelves work. They make records look so compacted and good, and like, but when you take these out, like the records there were so many records. It was crazy. So I'm just like really thankful for this whole setup, and whoever invented these cubes, the like record collecting community, the vinyl collecting community owes you so much. Thank you very much for that. This is a piece of art that my friends in New York City, Aaron and Ian, did of me. So I just have it up there like it's an album cover of me. They did this so many years ago, and I've held on to it, and now it's finally framed and in my home. And I feel like it's a great introduction like to my home. It's like, hey, I'm here. This is me. Over here, I have some records on display that I'm like flipping through also. Because I feel like whenever you're playing records, like I feel like you have like a few that you just like want to play. So I feel like that little setup there. And then this is just like so good. And then like that cover is so perfect with like the flowers, well, plants or whatever. And then that's another Print Error vase right there. I absolutely love their 3D printed work. It's so good. This is a like vintage find Phoenix that I found. I have some butterscotch because I'm a grandpa. I'm a grandma in this little lips container. And then this amazing Prince cloche candle, which I talked about in my last video, and some seashells from Ritz Beach, I think that's the name of it, in New York City. It was like one of the little last outings that I had before I moved with friends. We went to the beach and it was super cute. So that's my living room. Don't need to go in there. We could, but that's her. There's a lot to talk about in there, so I'm not gonna even dip in there. I love it. This is the biggest cube section for my records. So previous to this, I had it situated like tic-tac-toe, and this is how I have the records on display. I decided this time to do rows of records because this is pop, and then it goes into pop and then soundtracks. So there's a lot here. What I have on display represents art, like pop art by like my favorite pop artists, which is Richard Bernstein and Andy Warhol. They did some really amazing album covers, so I decided to put them on display. I think it looks amazing. And also they're by like legends, but then behind there are records completely organized by genre. So like, yeah, it's really cool. I love this. I love walking to my home and seeing like cheerful artwork from like record covers from like my favorite artists. The second row is very different. These, I don't think they're gonna be the permanent record like covers that I have here. I'll probably change it up. I feel like this row I'll change up. These are not by Warhol or Bernstein, but I like the way they look for this section. So yeah, I have my art books there. I have some cute, fun toy collectibles, like that's Andy Warhol, and then an Andy Warhol Dunny from Kid Robot, Blondie, and then I have like some like fun, just like things here and there. I don't collect pops, but when it came to like Pee Wee Herman, I was like, I have to have him, so duh. And then I have Whitney Houston up here, and then I have Prince down there. So good. Like, I have so many Prince records. Like, this whole section is Prince, Grace Jones. You can see Prince peeking out right there, which is so cool. Prince, Grace Jones, and then some of the Jacksons that I have, which would be Janet, Michael, and then I think there's a LaToya in there. Controversy. I have another elephant here hiding. I have a vintage Hager, like, vase that I love. I think this is one that's called Cobra. I love Hager pottery. I think it's so good. I have some Patrick Nagel prints that I randomly found for such good deals. Like, sometimes Nagel prints go for so much, but like this one I found for like, I think online for like $20 or $30 framed. Now these came framed. This one I found at like an actual vintage store here in Jacksonville, framed. The mirror cracked when it was in storage, unfortunately, but it's barely noticeable. I absolutely love it, and it's such like a great presentation. Obsessed. This vase I love because this is actually from my job, but it's one that they did not produce, and I saw it and I was like, I must need it. I must have it. And they didn't produce it, and I was so heartbroken. And then all of a sudden they were like, hey, we're gonna have a sample sale, and I was like, is that vase gonna be there? And I was like, they were like, I think so. Turns out it was there. So shout out to Troy for getting this for me and making sure I have it, and Angela for shipping it to me. I am very grateful. I love it so much. It has very like Memphis vibes, which is very much like my aesthetic. I love like 80s, 90s home design, so I was very into it. Keeping it short, it's my Richard Bernstein book. Love him, and that's Grace Jones on the cover. Iconic. And then I found these lips at like a dollar store, and I was like, oh my god, that's perfect to go with the lips, because if you can see, the lips on this book has like a gloss to it. I think it's called like the UV gloss spot or whatever, I don't know. And then these lips are perfectly coordinated. This is more selenite in my home. This is a selenite candle holder, and then a selenite little tower here. Whitney Houston, a little tiny diptyque candle, some more Dunnies, and yeah, and this touch vintage light, which I absolutely love. She even like Hi, bright. I love mood lighting. I use like probably none of the actual like what do you call it? Ceiling lights in my home. I'm like, I need the mood light. I'm a Libra and I love a moody light moment. So yeah, there's Grace Jones back there, one man show. So anyways, yes, love this section. Just obsessed with it. I feel like having fun things that represent you and your home is so important. Even if they're not fun to other people, they're fun to you. And it's just like having a home full of things that you love on display beautifully makes, I don't know, it just makes me happy. It feels like a home. So I'm happy to have these items. There's even like hidden throughout little pictures of me. Like this was a photo shoot that a friend did. I don't know, let me see if I focus so long ago of me in New York City. I think this was in Greenpoint. That's me like on the concrete with Mickey hands. So yeah, little things like that, just like hidden about like little Easter eggs. It's just like so fun, just totally fun. So yeah, this is my record collection. So there's the shelves over here on the shelves over there. So yeah, very organized now. Very happy about it. The other thing too is that it might seem like it's separated, but this whole area is kind of like record media. So it makes me really happy because when you actually sit in the living room, you don't actually have this in sight as much. So it's great. And there's my Christmas tree because yeah, it's still kind of Christmas time. I think it's like bad luck to put away the Christmas tree before like the 12th date of Christmas. I don't know. But I read that like if you throw it away or you put it away before the 5th or 6th, it could be bad luck. I don't know how true that is, but I kind of like that. So it's there. All right. So that is my record collection and a little piece of my home, a little tour of little things. Have a little peppermint before you leave. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And yeah. All right, so that was my little record collection tour. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want more videos like this, let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you think down below in the comments as well. And I would definitely love to hear from record collectors out there. Like, how do you collect your records and organize them? I try to keep mine in the like poly sleeves or in the shrink wrap, which I hear is bad, but just like I want to keep them protected as much as possible. So if I have the poly sleeves, I'll definitely put them in there. But yeah, I would just love to hear what you guys think and how yours are organized, if they're organized at all, or if they're chaos like mine were before. I just feel like it's really fun to have them organized because I'm like, if I want to go into like find Bauhaus records, like I know where Bauhaus is, versus me being like, oh, where are all my Bauhaus records? And just like finding one. Or if I want to listen to Susie Sue, I know where all the Susie Sue and, well, the Susie and the Banshees and the Creatures albums are. Like, I know where those are, you know? So it just feels good to have them organized in the new year. So happy new year to everyone. I would love to hear what you think down in the comments, and definitely like and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps out my videos and my page by having some likes. So like and subscribe. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this one. Bye.